Hey guys, what's going on? It's Friday, so I hope everyone's having an awesome Friday and that it's not too cold wherever you are. So, as promised, we're going to be talking and meeting on here weekly to talk about everything you need to know about Zumba in terms of teaching and playlists and choreo and all that fun stuff. So, today the first topic that we are going to be talking about is playlists. And this is a really, really, really important topic, obviously, for Zumba and for teaching it, especially for formulating your playlist. So if you're watching and you take Zumba, just know that your instructors do a lot in terms of making sure that the playlists are fun and interactive and bringing you in. Hey, Cody. Hi, Cody. That's my girl, Cody. She's in Calgary. So anyway, in terms of making your playlist come to life and what you need to know to do that. So if you take Zumba as a participant, just know your instructors work really, really, really hard to make sure, hi Rika, how are you, beautiful? To make sure that your classes are fun and lively and that we can keep your energy up during that time. So during this session, if you have any questions, just type them in. I'll be looking in periodically and to answer those questions. So let's talk playlists. With your playlist, my first advice about playlists is don't teach the song unless you absolutely love that song. So this, speaking from personal experience, I have been to classes where I hear songs that I don't particularly like, but I see what that instructor has done with it, and I'm just, wow, that is great, and it makes you like the song more. So, and I've also seen where instructors are not fully there when the song is playing. They're just teaching it maybe because it's a big song right now or whatever the case may be. But so first tip of advice is to make sure that your playlist selection, the songs that you choose, whatever rhythm and whatever category and whatever intensity that it is, make sure that that song actually speaks to you in terms of making you feel something, right? Because that's why we're in Zumba class. I mean, there's lots of different ways to get fit. There's lots of different ways to have fun. There's lots of different ways to work out. But Zumba is special for that reason. It has an element of emotion. It brings something out of you when you teach and brings something out of you as a participant when you're taking the class. So first advice, love your song before you even think about putting it in the playlist. So when you love that song, then you can go from there and do the choreo and do the, learn whatever you need to learn about it. And there's a question, is it possible to talk about the types of Zumba and whether it is possible at the world level? Yes, absolutely. So Zumba is definitely a worldwide program. So wherever you are, you can go on Zumba.com and search your city and your area, and there will be the chances are there will be classes there happening, so you can definitely take the classes wherever you are in your country or city. So yes, great question. Yeah, so that's the first bit of advice. Make sure you love your song. All right. Next, I did have a question come to me about warm-ups. So with your warm-up is super, super important because it really sets the tone for your class. It really, really sets the mood. So the volume of the warm-up, whether it's low or high, will really set the mood. What you're doing. Question, in Egypt. Yes, there's lots in Egypt. There's lots and lots in Egypt. Go on Zumba.com. Trust me, there's lots happening in Egypt for Zumba, so you can definitely take the classes there. Good question. So, yes, that goes for everybody. Wherever you are, Zumba's there. So, yes. What was I saying? So, song selection, make sure you love the song. Next tip, warm up. It sets the tone for the entire class. It's very hard to recover from having a really low or really not super exciting warm up. Very hard to recover from that because that initial beat sets the tone for the room. So during the warm-up, you don't want to be doing anything too crazy. It should be all simple movements. Why we warm up, of course, for all the fitness reasons, we want to warm up. We want to increase the blood flow, we want to lubricate the joints, and we want to warm up the muscles so that the workouts can happen safely and effectively. So that being said, applying those concepts to Zumba means starting that warm-up with simple movements like step touch, then adding in the muscle activation, and then you can build from there into the rest of the playlist. Now, I had a question come to me about how long you should keep a warm-up in your playlist. So everyone's class is going to be a little bit different. Question? Oh, you're welcome. No problem. I hope you find a class that you like, all right? So everybody's classes are going to have a little bit of a difference. Each class is unique. Each instructor is unique. So with that being said, in terms of how long you should keep the warm-up in your playlist, it's going to depend on how much of a rotation you have with your participants. If you have a new group every single week, then you can keep that warm up for a longer time than if you've been teaching the same group with the same faces and they all have their spot and you have your front row divas and you have your back row shy people. You can keep your playlist. You can keep your warm up a lot longer if you have that rotation happening a lot as well. So, with that being said, warm up, because it's simple movements, the music should be exciting and the music should have beats to it so that you can actually match your footwork to what you're doing. Furthermore, with the warm up, play it by ear in your class. If your participants don't really get excited after that warm up because you've been teaching it for so long, maybe it's time to rotate the warm up. Another tip that I do as well, I usually have 2 to 3 warm ups that I kind of flip-flop and rotate, and this even if your class is really loving that warm-up or even that's a particular song, you take it out even if they're in love with it, and then you can swap it in with something else, but because you took it out while they still wanted it, when you put it back in, it'll be more exciting. So if you teach a song or a warm-up all the way until it's like, oh my god, this song again, like really, and then you take it out and you put it back in, it's like, oh yeah, this one again. That's the reaction you're going to get. But if you take the song out when they're still wanting it like a tiny bit more and then you throw it back in later, it's going to be like, oh yeah, this song, you're going to have that nostalgic feeling in terms of that song or that warm-up that you chose for your playlist. So super important. So if you just joined in, recap, we're talking about playlists. First tip is the song selection, super important. Make sure you love the song before you're teaching it. Do not just throw in random music just because it's popular. It's your class, own your class, and be proud of the music that you're putting forth in your class. So if you don't love it, it doesn't need to make the playlist. There's so many songs to choose from. I'm sure you can find about 13 to 15, that's about an hour class of songs that you're absolutely in love with that you can teach and that you can bring that emotion out of your class. Next thing we talked about was warm-ups. Warm-ups, super important. Keep them simple, keep them exciting. They really set the tone for your classes. So definitely, hi guys, if you just joined. So definitely keep the warm-ups exciting and simple in the beginning, and then you can rotate them as much as you like. Play it by ear for your class in terms of how long you're keeping that warm-up or keeping that song. If your class is getting bored of it, or if you're wearing it out to the very end, maybe swap it out and put something else in. But a tip that I use is that if your class is really loving a song, take it out and then throw it back in like 2 weeks later, for example, because then that way they will love it when they hear it again, and then you've not played out the song till it's bitter and till it's death and you can't see it, and then you can't use it anymore, right? So those are what we've talked about so far in terms of playlists. And if you've just joined, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in. I will definitely answer your questions about the playlists. So moving along with your playlist song selection. I had a question about how to find music to put into the playlist. Now, this is a big one because Zumba is definitely internationally based. We use songs from around the world, everywhere. And if you're in Canada, the United States, or wherever you are, the music you're going to hear mostly is going to pertain to your country, to your area. So how to find international music. Here's a tip that I use. I use something called Mixerbox, and it's a website or an app. You can use it any way that you like. And if you're looking for a certain type of song or a certain rhythm or kind of a flavor that you like, you type in the name of one song that you like. For example, you can type in, if you're looking for like a reggaeton song, you could type in something by Maluma, and then you play, hi mom, oh my mom joined, hi mom. You can type in something by Maluma, like a reggaeton by Maluma, and then it will automatically, using an algorithm, bring in songs that sound similar to it. So similar in rhythm, similar in pace, similar in sound. So Maluma's more like Latin pop, he's more like a pop star. So you'll get more pop stars in there, right? If you are looking for question, driving it. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for drive safe. Okay, drive safe. Thanks so much. I'll be posting it if you want to catch the rest later. So I use an app called Mixerbox, and that's something that I have used on all day. So whether I'm walking or in the train or at home or whatever I'm doing, I usually have my music playing. And then if I hear something that kind of speaks to me that I really, really enjoy, I take a screenshot, I download it later, and then I see what I can do with it in terms of choreography and putting it in my playlist, etc., etc., etc. So that's my my next tip about playlists. Oh, hi, Catherine. So that's my next tip about playlists. What else can I say? So with your playlist, when you really, really, really love the song and you want to do a choreography to it and you want to learn about it, and this kind of topic now ties into choreography and cueing and putting in the order that you put your tracks in, is how much you really know about the song. So songs are a lot like relationships, okay? The more you know about a song or a person, the more you know if you like that song or person, right? So the more you know, the more you decide to learn about that, the easier it will be to remember things, to remember the changes, to remember, and this goes for people and music, same thing. All right, I have a relationship with all my songs. So you really, really know where things change in the music. So because Zumba is more of an it's an international program based on international rhythms, lots of it being Latin, I like to translate all the music that I use, especially if it's in Spanish or whatever language that it is, that you can Google it and check it out. And then you'll really, really know what the song is about. When you know what the song is about, you get more attached to it, and then you'll know what to do in terms of choreography, in terms of what feels right and what part of the song. You can kind of match the movements with the lyrics that are happening in the music, and that makes it more exciting, especially when a person in your class, for example, if it's a Spanish song, a person in your class knows Spanish, and you're doing movements that correspond with the lyrics, that feels better. That's more exciting. It's more exciting for that participant to hear the song, to know what's going on in the song, and to see that the movements that they are doing match what's happening in the actual track. So it's super exciting. So if you just joined in, hi guys, hi everyone. If you just joined in, we're talking about playlists, and I just touched on really, really knowing your songs before they go into your playlist. So the more you know about a song, the more attached you're going to be to that song, and then the more you know, if you know more about that track, then you'll know where it changes. You know, if you know what the song is about and what they're saying, and the movements match the music, match the beats, etc., etc., it'll be easier for you to remember when you're doing that song in class. So like I said, as like a relationship, the more you know, the more you get attached, and the more you actually can feel what's happening in the music. So word of advice, really, really know your music before it goes into your playlist. And if you do that, super easy, super, super easy to learn the changes, to learn where you should change the cueing and all that fun stuff, right? And we'll talk about that in other chats that we have. So that is another tip I had about playlists. Let's see if we have any questions. Hi everyone. Oh, hey Tracy, what's going on? All right. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. Yes. So those are my tips on playlists. Now I'm going to talk about the order that you put your music in. So now you have, as we've talked about, you have an awesome warm-up. You have an awesome song selection. You have awesome choreography. You got all that stuff. Now, what order do we put the songs in? Definitely very, very important. You don't want to do a warm-up, get everybody excited, and then do like bachata right after, because it's just going to bring the mood down, right? Bring the energy down. So after the warm-up, you should feel like more excited, ready to do more. It should bring you more into the class. And then the second song should definitely be high intensity and exciting. So merengues are typically faster paced and exciting. So put a high intensity merengue in there as your second track, and it'll definitely keep the movements going. Also, it's nice to have that contrast. So your warm up is probably 132 beats per minute, like typical fitness class, dunce, 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 like footwork type thing happening, overlaid by whatever Latin track or English track or whatever remix that you have. So the second song to put in like a pure merengue, which is very Latin, very fast-paced, very not common in other fitness classes, that contrast really brings actually both of those tracks to life. So it really plays with your class's emotions a little bit, and it ends up being a lot of fun. Brings the energy up in the room. So order of the songs that you put in your class. Who's here? Hi, Rosa. Okay, so that's a little bit about what you should do in terms of where your playlists go. Next, about halfway through the class, they're probably feeling a little bit tired, right? It's nice to change the dynamic in the room. Hi, Susan. It's nice to change the dynamic in the room about halfway through the class. What that does is really wake up your class, bring the energy back up in the room, and then it kind of gives everyone a second wind in terms of really completing that class and bringing the energy out of them, bringing the full effect of the actual Zumba class, right? So about halfway through your playlist, do something to change the dynamic in the room. What you can do, you can throw in a song in there that is battle. So you can go in and split the room in half. If you have a small class and you have a mirror, you can turn and face the mirror, and you guys can be battling like yourselves kind of in the mirror like that. And then you can do a circle track. You can do a 4 walls track where you end up facing each side of the room. So do something that changes something that changes where people stand. So changes the direction that they face, whatever the case may be. It wakes them up again so that they're not just going through the motions of mirroring what you're doing. They're actually physically there, mentally there, back in the room, and brings the excitement back up in the class for the second wind to keep the energy up and get the full effect of the Zumba class, because it's for fitness, right? We are doing this to work out. So you want everyone to feel that they have that second wind when they are when they're in your class. So definitely do that. What else? If you just joined, if you have any questions, just throw them on the side, and then I will definitely answer those. What else about playlists? So we touched on the importance of your warm-ups, your song selection, knowing your music, a lot of different things. Next, the order of you put your songs and the intensity that you put them in. Definitely cater to your class. Definitely cater to your class. Every Zumba class is different. If you have a Zumba class full of runners and athletes and whatever the case may be, hi Pedro. If you have a room full of athletes, then you can keep your intensity a little bit higher. But if you have a mixed pace, like a mixed pace of people that are in your room, you probably should really cater to everybody. So at the end of the day, you want everyone to feel confident in your class and feel that they can do it. Because if they feel that they can do it, they will come back and keep doing it, right? And that's what we want. We want them to come to class. So if they don't feel that way, then they might feel stupid and they might not want to come back. So really, really important to cater to those people that are in the room in terms of the intensity that you put the tracks. Show modifications during your choreographies. And of course, there's so many resources for you. You can go on your Zen now. There's choreographies for you to go on there. There's your mega mix choreos. There's your jam sessions. There's lots of different stuff, lots of different ways that you can get choreo and inspiration to make sure that you're able to mix up the levels in the levels of intensity in your playlist. So next, if you want, knowing your classroom will really determine at what pace you're going to keep the room. Not every playlist and not every order of songs is a one-size-fits-all. So it's really hard to take one playlist in X gym and then go to Y gym and then do the same thing and kind of treat it like a one-size-fits-all, because it doesn't always work. So know your class, know your intensity, monitor your classroom rate of perceived exertion scale. Just monitor how red they look, if they're breathing heavy, if they look like they're not even moving, like they're not sweating or nothing at all. You can increase the intensity. If everyone's heaving on the floor, of course, decrease the intensity. So just monitor your class, be present, be there, and be there for your participants. And then they will appreciate it because they will feel confident. They will come back. That's what we want. So knowing that, you have a couple different options in terms of how you arrange the intensity of your playlist. So that being said, you start your warm-up about here. You gradually increase the intensity. You can give them a break, bring it back here. You can bring it back up. You're going to peak in intensity in the class, probably somewhere near the middle. And then after that, I would change as I said, change the dynamic in the room, do a battle song, face the mirror, do a circle, do a four walls, whatever the case may be. Change that dynamic in the room, give them their second wind, and then continue the class. When you continue the class, I would bring it down a little bit from that peak that you did in terms of intensity, bring it down a little bit, bring it back up a little bit, and then down slowly towards your cool down. When you do your cool down, I like to use songs that are inspirational or nostalgic. Right now I'm doing Lauryn Hill, That Thing. So everybody knows that song. Everybody here, everybody gets into it. It's something to kind of like nicely calm down to. Or I do something super inspirational. Or you can pick something that's really popular right now, whatever the case may be. So there's a couple different ways to end the class, but definitely end the class on a positive note so that people feel satisfied and happy that they went, and then they're going to remember that feeling, because it's the feelings that bring people back into the class. It's not necessarily the movements in themselves or the songs themselves, but the feelings that they get while they're doing the song, whether it's something by a song that made them feel something or a movement that they loved or whatever the case may be, but it's always a feeling that brings them back. So definitely end your class on a positive note, and then hopefully they will come back, right? So if they love the class, they'll definitely be back there. So as instructors, if you take Zumba, I hope you guys know your instructors work super hard. We all work super hard for you to make sure that you're having a good time and getting a good workout in. And instructors, you guys are all amazing. I obviously, of course, know how hard you guys work, because we all, we're all in this together. We do this together. So I really hope this was beneficial for you guys about playlists. Next week, we're going to meet back Friday, same time, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock New York time. So wherever you are, just calculate the time difference. And we're going to meet back live, and we're going to be talking about choreography. So I'm going to give you tips on choreography, how to get choreography. I'm going to answer all your choreography questions, all of that. And then we will definitely chat again next week. All right. So I hope you all have an amazing Friday, an amazing weekend, and an amazing next week, because we're going to meet back Friday, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So take care, everybody. I am going to post this. So if you missed it, don't worry. You can catch the playback. And also, if you found this helpful for yourself, definitely share it and tag somebody, because hopefully they can benefit from it too. All right. So everyone have an amazing Friday, and I will talk to you guys soon.